Fable 5 getting banned overnight absolutely sucked, but it was a reminder that our AI stack should not have a single point of failure. If your business was wired to it, you woke up with broken agents. Here's what we're actually doing about it. Most founders have built their entire AI stack on one provider. That's not a strategy, that's a single point of failure. I'm going to show you how we're fixing that. A few weeks ago, Claude released Fable 5, probably the most capable model that's ever existed, frontier stuff. Then a government letter arrives at Anthropic and overnight it is gone. Greg Eisenberg put out a video about it. Good video, worth watching. His take, go local. Run a model on your own hardware. I want to give you a different take, a more practical one. So I've been working through this with someone who actually builds these systems. This problem isn't which model got banned. The problem is what happens when any piece of your stack disappears overnight. If you've wired your business to one provider, one API, one model, one cloud, you don't have a business, you have a dependency. A dependency that can be taken from you by a government letter, a pricing change, or just an outage. Now here's why go local isn't the whole answer. It's probably half of it. The local model answer sounds simple. Run it on your laptop, own it, done. But here's what they're not really telling you. To run a frontier level open source model, we're talking Opus equivalent capability, you'd need 8 H200 GPUs. That's somewhere between 120 grand and $300,000 in hardware that lives in your office. And here's the second problem. A model on your laptop only serves you. The moment your team needs access to it, then you're back to square one. So the Greg approach is fine if you're a solo developer who wants fallback on a long flight or some kind of business where you can't have stuff leaving and going into the cloud. But for most businesses, it doesn't scale. The actual solution is building a model router. Think of it like this. You've got multiple models available. Frontier models from Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, private hosted models on your own infrastructure, and yes, a local fallback if you need it. So there's 3 kinds there. Now the router decides which one to use based on the task. Big strategy, it calls for the frontier model. Routine automation, it calls the private model. Internet goes down on a flight, local model carries you. The tool that does this is called LiteLLM. It's a model router that sits in your backend and plugs into multiple APIs at once. One of those APIs can be your private deployment. Another could be Anthropic, another could be Google. Your agents don't really care which one they're talking to. They just get an answer. So the private layer and what it looks like in practice. I've been working with a company founder that builds a private layer of AI into businesses. And I want to build this out for real in our own business. So we've just started. And they've just deployed for an Australian fintech, a 10-person dev team, all using Claude code on the front end. But on the back end, the model is hosted privately. The IP goes nowhere. Everything auto deletes. The team has unlimited use, $2,000 a month for the whole team. That's sonnet level coding capability, full IP control, compliance handled. And if Anthropic goes down tomorrow, the router just switches and no one even really notices. Now, something that's important here is being fit for purpose, like different horses for different courses, different bullets for different guns. The other thing worth knowing is that you don't need the biggest model for most of what you do. Frontier models are incredible for strategy, for planning, for deep thinking. But for your automations, for your workflows, for your routine agent tasks, a smaller model does that just as well, and it costs a fraction of the price. Even voice transcription. You can deploy a 2 billion parameter model, purpose-built for transcription, best in class globally, and it costs about $50 to $100 a month in the cloud. That's not a compromise, that's a smarter decision. So instead of having every team member in the organization paying about that each, you've got that as one-off sub and it's your own internal capability. So here's the takeaway. Fable 5 getting banned overnight absolutely sucked, and I don't love what the US government's done, and hopefully it gets reinstated soon. But it was a reminder that our AI stack should not have a single point of failure. Now, some might want to go fully local. I believe it's more practical and there's going to be more advantage to going with a routing layer. Cloud first, multi-provider with a local fallback for edge cases. Frontier model for the hard thinking, private model for the daily work, and a local model so a long flight doesn't shut down your operation. That's the stack that doesn't go down when one government letter lands. If you want to know how we're building this, follow along. I'll show you the full setup. If you want to get more insights on how real companies and founders like myself are building this stuff into their business in the age of AI and personal brands, hit subscribe and follow along, because I'm sharing all the juice with you, not holding anything back. And I'm looking for the biggest value that I can give you. So make some comments about the sort of stuff that you're looking forward to and share this with someone else who might need to hear it. See you on the next episode of Flow Zone.